Hello there, Lisa here. Happy New Year to you. I have a project share plus a short tutorial for you today. I'm a really big fan of using up everything I can use up from a digital kit within the project that I'm working on. I really don't like to store a bunch of ephemera stuff. I like to use it as I go along, and I will stop and print for a project that I'm working on. And sometimes I just end up with a lot of leftovers. So I created a little book to put inside the larger project, and it was a great way to use up all of those little bits and pieces. The binding system on this, I have used this numerous times to create lots of different things, and the thing I really like about it is it just lays flat. It's really super great. It opens up and lays flat. So you could use this in many different ways, but today I just want to show you what I did and how I did it. So hopefully maybe that's something that you can use in a project you're working on. So the front and the back, just paper with some stuff on them. We all know how to do that. And I've got a pocket here, some leftover bits and pieces from the kit that I printed out from My Porch Prints is the name of the Etsy store. I've got a little flip here. I stuck this down with some washi tape to a page that I had already attached within the book. The little belly band, a couple things tucked in there. And this is a pocket right here. And I'll show you how I did that once I get done showing you how to create the binding system. A little lace pocket here. You can just tuck different things in. Envelope that I didn't use in the bigger journal. And the closure is just a little tag right here. And this just pops right open. There's, more stuff in the pocket. This is the back of the envelope and one of the leftovers. And you can put just a few more things in there. Tag right here, little tiny pocket with the ticket. I love this bunny. I think he's just cool looking. And on the back side of that, I have this for a journaling spot. And what I did was I glued those two pieces to the hinge and then to each other, which created another little tuck spot right here. A little envelope that was so cute in the kit. And this right here is the back side of this tag. And it was really white. So what I did was I just put a scrap of music note paper over the top of it and then attached my envelope to it. So I don't have that stark white in the background. Another little pocket here with one of the cut apart cards. I had actually printed this kit twice and it was just so lovely. And I just wanted to make sure that I included what was left within the project that I was working on. So let me show you how to make the base book. You're just going to need one piece of paper. That's it. I'm using text weight 24-pound hand-dyed paper. This could be scrapbook paper. It could be a piece of music note paper. It could be a page out of an old almanac. The only requirement for the measurements I'm going to give you is that it's 11 inches long. The height, whatever you want to cut it to, but the length of it, or I should say the width of it this way, needs to be 11 inches. So 8.5 by 11. I want to cut this down to 7 inches. That's a more manageable size to go inside of another journal. So this is going to be 7 by 11. And then you'll need your scoreboard. So I've got my scoreboard here. And again, working with 24-pound paper, we're going to score this every half inch from 4 to 7 inches. Every half inch from 4 to 7. You want to make sure that your paper doesn't drift when you're scoring so that you've got nice straight score lines. And be gentle if you're using text weight paper. You don't want to poke a hole. So 4, 4.5, and 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and 7. Easy, super simple. I'm going to flip this bottom to top. I don't want to go left to right. I want to make sure I'm flipping it bottom to top. That way my score lines will be exactly where they need to be because we're going to double score this. You want to score this on both sides, particularly if you're using that printer weight copy paper, whatever you may be using. Scrapbook paper, the heavier it is, the easier it folds. So this sometimes is a challenge to get it folded nice and crisply. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then we're just going to fold those score lines, making sure that the edges line up nice and square as you're burnishing in those fold lines. Right now, there's no top, there's no bottom, there's no front, there's no back. We're just folding in those score lines. I've made dozens of these with scrapbook paper and put them into travel folios. And this little binding system works out really, really well that way. You can attach anything you want to attach. Another piece of paper, a paper bag, a full-size envelope, more pages. You could attach more pages, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to go back and reinforce those folds one more time, going the other direction. And then we're going to go in and accordion fold this. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to fold one fold away from me. That's on that very first score line that's closest to me. And I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to take the back Okay, let's try that again. So I'm just going to fold it like this away from me, and then I'm going to start with the next closest one and just accordion fold. I'm sorry about that. There we go. What we're shooting for is a spine area that looks like this. The front and the back should be in the same direction. They should both be going in the same direction. And we want these 3 valleys in the back. We're going to apply adhesive into these 3 valleys, but we don't want it all the way up here at the very top of that peak right there. We kind of want to set it down a little bit further inside the valley. It makes the back a little more expandable. It gives you a little bit more room to maneuver. So I'm going to lay this like this, and I'm going to put tape in those valleys. I'm just using score tape. You could use liquid glue for this if you choose to. I would not use a glue stick. I don't think it'll hold up. So just 3 little pieces of tape, 1 piece of tape inside each valley. And I'm not going all the way up to that score line. Hope you can see that right there. I see I'm probably a 1/16 of an inch away from the score line. So I'm going to burnish that real quick. It makes it easier to get the tape backing off. And we're just going to stick those valleys together. One more to go. So there's the outside all stuck together. And here is the inside with your hinges ready for you to attach anything that you choose to attach to this. Like I said, it could be a paper bag, it could be more paper that you're attaching. The point is to really use up and be creative with these bits and pieces. You could attach a whole nother page that has a flip out on it if you needed more room for journaling. But I really liked the fact that I could just play with what I had, and it doesn't matter if you don't fill up the entire hinge. You could stamp a couple of little tiny words right there. You could add a little charm or something that's going to hang off of that. So keep in mind that you don't have to cover up the whole entire hinge. What I did for this page to create the pocket was I attached 1 piece on this side of the hinge, and then I attached the other piece on this side of the hinge, and then I glued them together along the sides. That's how I made this little pocket page right here. So it's attached here, this piece is attached here, I glued the 2 pieces together here and here. So you have a 1 piece on each side of that hinge that creates the pocket. So envelopes, ticket stubs, cut apart cards, You could attach little tiny paper bags. You could do a whole one that's got little paper bags on it to slide tickets and tags into. They can go this way. More little envelopes. Maybe you've got one of the mini punch board makers. You could make this an entire book of envelopes if you wanted to. So just about anything you choose to do, you can do with this. I did use a background stamp over the entire thing before I got busy gluing things in. And it was just a Tim Holtz script stamp, nothing too fancy. You can see it back here. So again, you don't have to use text weight paper, atlas page, music notes, scrapbook paper. It could be just anything. Just make sure that you keep the 11-inch length to go with the measurements that I've given you. So I hope this is a neat little trick that you will try to use up some of your ephemera and include it in a project that you're working on. And hopefully I will be back to talk to you again very soon.